All right, welcome to the Thor hammer project part 3. In this tutorial, we're going to essentially add edge loops here to hold the shape of our object. So if we select this first mesh that we created, if we hit number 3, you can see how rounded everything becomes. And if we, even with the division one, if we hit number 3, it's still pretty soft. But if I select this one, which has edge loops added, and hit number 3, the form's really holding in place. In fact, it's easier to see that when I turn off the wireframe on shaded. You can really see how these edges are just being structurally more sound. And so this mesh here would be great in Mudbox to sculpt on and basically maintain the integrity of those edges. And so we're going to do that through adding some additional edge loops. So again, I'm just going to hit number 1 to bring these back into place. And I will turn on wireframe on shaded again. So you can see in here, I've added additional edge loops like right here. If I go to my edge here and double click that one, and then along here, that one, and along here. You can see basically if we look around here, these 4 sections here, there's additional edge loops. And then on the 2 sides here, there's edge loops here and here. You could add additional ones to even add more, but I think this is enough to kind of add to this structure here. So the way we're going to do this is go back into the Insert Edge Loop tool. Again, you can double click on it from here, or again, it's under Mesh Tools, Insert Edge Loop tool. We're going to go to the options. I'll go ahead and click on Reset Tool, and we're going to leave relative distance basically. When I click off, the way this works, if I come in here and I click on an edge here, it's just going to add an edge loop. And if I release, it's going to basically end it where it's at. So I'm going to undo that by hitting Control Z. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click here and drag to, not to all the way to the end, but a little bit of spacing right there. So I want to be very close, but not so close that it's right up against the edge. So I'm going to click on here and add one here. And then I'm going to do the same on this side here. So I'm going to click right here. And again, just kind of bring it close there and right about there. So if I hit number 3 on this, you can see how already it's getting more integrity holding these 4 edges basically on here. I'm going to go back to number 1. So now I need to do it to the 2 sides on both sides, well, 4 sides actually, these edges here. So I'm going to click right inside here on these 2. So I'm going to click right here, and you can see it's creating an edge loop all the way around. And I'm just going to make it kind of tight there. And then again, I'm going to click right here and kind of bring it down, make this a little bit tight. And then, so that's done there, and it's done on the other side too. But now I got to repeat the action on this side. So again, I'm going to click right here, kind of bring it in to about there, and click here and bring it down to here. Again, if you mess up, if you bring it too close or something like that, just hit Control Z to undo, and then click again, and then kind of bring them again really nice and tight there. So now you can see I've essentially recreated those edge loops, pretty much the same as there. Again, when you're done with the tool, make sure you click on the arrow to escape out. Then again, you can click on Object Mode, and yeah, pretty much we're there. So if I select this object and hit the number 3 key, which is a smooth mesh preview, you can see how those edges are being really held tight now. Again, especially when I turn off wireframe on shaded. And you can definitely tell those edges. It actually is even probably a little bit tighter than what I originally had here. Yeah, it's just a little bit firmer yet. So having a little bit closer, you can see it's just going to add that little bit of tightness there. Again, this one has none whatsoever, so it's going to be really, really flat looking. All right. So in the next tutorial, we're going to cover another method for the same process. It's in, let me turn on the layer here. It's using what's known as the Crease Tool. And so I'm going to grab that and kind of just pull it out so you can preview it here. You can see that this mesh doesn't have extra edge loops, but it has this thing called a crease. And you can see this extra big bold line here. If I hit number 3 and click off, it's not quite as good as the edge loops, but it kind of gives you an idea of like what's going on here in terms of the process. Okay, so yeah. So we'll see you next time. Go ahead and turn on wireframe unshaded. And it looks like I forgot to duplicate this mesh before I added those edge loops. I should have done that. But it's an easy fix. If you ever did want to make a copy of something, you can duplicate it, move it over, and then to get rid of edge loops, because maybe you do want to get rid of some of these, all you gotta do is double click on them, and then you don't want to delete. If you delete just by hitting the backspace, it's going to remove the line but leave the points on there. So you need to actually delete the edge loops themselves. And you can do that by going down here to under Edit Mesh, this Delete Edge Vertex. And I actually have it in my custom shelf here. So it's this little icon here. So I click that, it goes away. So you can see that one went away. So I'll just come through here, double click on that, and I can hit the G key, which repeats any action. And so I'll just prepare this very quickly to get it back to what it was before, so that we can use the Crease Tool in the next tutorial and explain the differences between these. I'm going to actually bring these into Mudbox so you can actually see that. But now we essentially have this object divided up, minus any kind of edge loops or creasing. So until next time, see you soon. Cheers.